Howdy, y'all. I'm Mars Hall, and welcome to episode 1 of Oddly Specific, a podcast about my life, things that have happened to me, thoughts, and maybe thought wormholes that I've gone down. So if you like this podcast, if you feel like there are some crossover between the stories I'm sharing about my life and your life, feel free to give this a like. If you think a friend has some crossover there as well, feel free to share this with them. I really do appreciate that. So, episode 1. Dealing with a loss in competition. Last night I made my professional amateur. Oh gosh. Last night I made my amateur boxing debut at the Golden Gloves. I fought a guy with 3 fights and I lost a close split decision. So, let's go through kind of the first step of this, which is processing the phases of perspective for me. So, I wanted to make sure that, regardless of the outcome, win, lose, or draw, I came out with my head held high and ego as far removed from what happened as it could be. So that first step is ego removed. It's okay. I'm proud of what I did. Right? As time starts to pass, right, you start getting some feedback from some other people. You're like, your ego starts to creep in a little bit. So this is like kind of phase 2 where the ego poked its head back in and it's, damn, most people don't have the balls to do what I did. At least I got in there and I did the damn thing, and I did it with honor and I did it, pretty well. Split decision, not dominant fashion, didn't get knocked out, didn't get blown out of the water, but the ego starts to creep in a little bit. And it's like, most people don't have the balls to do what I did. Oh, I'd love to see you do what I did, right? That's the ego speaking and really trying to kind of get on in there. So the next step, right, as more time has passed, this is where the ego is passively trying to lead my perspective now. And it's honestly, I feel like I won, right? The ego is like, oh, man, it was a close split decision. You were hitting him with the bigger shots, the cleaner shots. He was a little bit bigger than you. And they actually had to move you up because you were supposed to fight at 119 and you had to fight at 125. You weighed in at 123. He actually missed weight, so he was definitely a bigger person than you. And right, this is where you start to realize, oh man, this ego is creeping in, and I think it's right. And that leads into the next step, where the ego is actively leading the perspective. Bro, I really think I won. Was I robbed? Right? And you start questioning it, right? You're like, man, I was cracking the shit out of that guy. I don't think he hit me with any clean shots, really. He hit me with a couple shots. But as far as the big shots that really moved the person away, that was me. I was doing that, and maybe I was robbed. Maybe the judges just didn't like me because it was my first one. They want to instill some character in me or just get me out of the amateur boxing scene, right? And it's like, let's tone that down, right? You're not that important. You're one of countless amateur boxers all over the country, all over the world, and especially in the state of Texas. So chill the fuck out, bro. But again, that ego is very convincing. That ego is very, very powerful. It's very strong in what it says and what it believes and what it does sometimes. So it's up to me to be in control of that and kind of reel that back in. But now, right, so we went through ego is removed. It's okay. I'm proud of what I did. Ego pokes its head in. Most people don't have the balls to do what I did. Ego is passively trying to lead the perspective. Honestly, I felt like I won. Ego is actively leading the perspective. Bro, I really think I won. Did I get robbed? And then now ego in full control of, I was robbed. There's no fucking way I lost. That guy was bigger than me. He came in and he was heavier than me. I had to fight up a weight class. X, Y, and Z, all the excuses. And honestly, bro, I really think I won because I hit him with the harder shots, right? And now this is full-blown. Ego is steering the ship, right? You have now lost all accountability of who you are and what you did and maybe what you didn't do, right? And after that comes the next phase, right? And that's ego death and self-pity ensue. So this morning I came into work and kind of had a smaller class and I was like, damn, bro, do people not like me because I lost? Are people not going to listen to me and trust me because I lost? Like, wow, fuck, maybe I fucked up. by taking a risk. Maybe I just should have played it safe and kind of like did a couple more smokers or something to like get more confidence or work on my timing and X, Y, and Z. Should have done more sparring to feel good. Definitely should have done more sparring. Let's just be honest about that. That's on me though. That's full accountability. But death of the ego and self-pity ensue. And then I've been doing this since June of 2020. And the next follow-up question was, did I just waste 4 years of my life to just lose, you know? And then, right, the next step comes because I know I can't live in self-pity. I can't wallow in, oh, woe is me for too long before it becomes bad. So how to get out of this mental space is the next step. So what I thought was, let's take an active approach to answer these questions as if a student of mine was asking me or going through this, you know, and try to express the compassion I would have towards someone else, towards myself, you know, because I think I use a lot of compassion towards others, like my students or like people who are troubled. And I try to explain to them, no, you have to look at it like this. And maybe if you just saw it from my perspective or stepped out of your own shoes for a little bit, it'd be easier for you to see X, Y, and Z. So I tried to apply a little bit of that to myself so I didn't wallow in self-pity for too long. And here's kind of what I came up with. Okay, first question. Do people not like me because I lost? I'm pretending like I'm having a dialogue with a student. Why would that be true, right? Well, it could be true because those people don't know any better, right? They don't know anything about boxing or what it takes to actually compete because they've never done it themselves, or, you know, they're just looking at highlights of people who are on Instagram beating up other people who have no idea what they're talking about or what they're doing, or maybe even beating up some people who do know what they're doing, but they just caught them on the bad day, right? The wrong day for them. So we start with that because they don't know any better, right? The next thing that I thought of was like, maybe they didn't really actually like me or care about me in the first place, you know? And my answer to that then is those people definitely don't matter. If they didn't care about you, if they were rooting for you to lose so they could feel better about themselves, those people don't matter and you don't need them in your life. So it's fine if they're not there. And then the follow-up to that is perhaps my attitude about losing touches a piece or a nerve inside themselves about how they lost something that was important, and their way of coping with it was by getting upset or angry or blaming everyone else instead of what I did and put the accountability on myself, you know, because it really does fall on me. It's a combat sport. And even if you're not into combat sports, right, like your lessons or your losses, right, you have to take ownership over that. Because if you don't and you want to blame the world for all your problems, anytime some shit goes awry, you're going to be like, wow, oh my God, this person did this, and I can't believe that it didn't go the way that I want because of external factors that I have no control over, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it's kind of asinine. So that kind of helped me get out of that mental space by answering that question in that way. So then the follow-up question to that was making me feel pretty bad was, did I just waste 4 years of my life? I've been training since June of 2020. So it is now February 2020. So about 4 years, you know, 3 years and some change. And then I start to feel bad about that. Like, I haven't been doing the right things and maybe I'm just an idiot, you know? And then the more compassionate side of me, or if I was like speaking with one of my students, was look what experiences you've gained over the last 4 years, right? So I'm just going to list a few off in no particular order. I became a 2-time marathoner, a 3-time ultra marathoner. I've coached hundreds, if not thousands of people. One of those people being Steven Jenkins from Third Eye Blind, which was such a cool experience. And maybe we'll save that for the next episode of Oddly Specific. With a bare bones team, I scaled a gym from 50 people to 250 people and opened a new gym with 200 people. And that's having never worked in the gym industry at all. So, right, that's a kind of That's kind of a thing that boxing brought you and led you to, an accomplishment, an experience that I had, you know? Also, if I'm switching between you and I point of view, it's just because my notes are written in the you point of view, whereas when I'm addressing the camera, I'm speaking in the I point of view. So if you get lost in any of that, just go back, re-listen to it, try to switch your mindset on it. I started training Muay Thai to try something new, to challenge myself, to be different, to force myself into being uncomfortable as I taught new students who are uncomfortable. I think it's always good as a teacher to challenge yourself with something that makes you uncomfortable, because it'll make you a better teacher. It will remind you to be patient. It will remind you to have compassion for people who are new. And that's what I started doing. And then within a year and a half, 18 months of training Muay Thai, I was selected to spar Saenchai at the first seminar I ever attended. And how that worked on that day is they walk around, they watch you doing the techniques, and then someone walks up to you at the end and they're like, Saenchai would like to spar you. Would you like to spar? So you have to be selected because, you know, I think they're probably looking for a couple things, right? This is not now a how to get selected to spar at a Saenchai seminar, but maybe it is. And the things I think they were looking for was like, one, am I a reckless asshole, right? Like, am I just bombing on my partner? Can I be a good drilling partner? Two, do I know how to protect myself so that I don't get caught with anything crazy just like out of the blue, you know? And the third thing was like, do I have a legitimate understanding of skills to where I can play spar and protect myself and not go crazy in there? So that might be like a combination of the first two things, but that's what I believe they were looking for. So if you're at a Yokkao seminar and you want to be selected to spar, maybe follow some of those tips. And then after that, I just was like really kind of encapsulated and enchanted by the whole lifestyle of Nak Muays. So I got to go to Thailand to train with Thais and get a little revenge on Saenchai. You can see that video on my Instagram where I pooted him back on the butt, and you're gonna have to watch the video for more context. I did a cage smoker. I did 2 MDLs, which is like a sparring Muay Thai development league, which I thought was a good experience. I did a cage smoker that was boxing, even though I thought I was doing kickboxing. Again, they didn't have somebody my size, so I had to fight up and I had to box. And that was an interesting experience because I was boxing no shoes and the mindset of kicking. And then I ended up just punching. But if you've watched any of my recent MDL clips, I basically just punch anyway and forget to kick. So it's okay. Lots to work on, lots to improve. Sorry if you're listening in headphones or you have the volume blasted. I established a growing online presence, which is kind of cool. You know, it's something I've been working at for years. I started making videos online in like 2007, 2008, and now here we are in 2024. And I feel like I'm like finally okay at it, you know, finally like making it look semi-presentable as I film a front camera podcast from my car using a fucking shoe that I got from my friend as my tripod. But it's okay, right? Always things to work towards, always things to improve upon. I've done multiple brand deals with companies in the fitness and food industry. So like Hyperwear, So Right, Skinny Noodles, It's Skinny Pasta, like, you know, Melinda's hot sauce, which is kind of cool, you know? That was never the intention when I first started making all these videos, like in the short form content or on the Instagram world. It wasn't like, yeah, let me get some endorsement deals, let me get some brand deals. It just kind of happened organically, and I thought that was really, really cool. So that's another thing I can be proud of over the last 4 years that, you know, has, you know, it's come my way because I've worked towards it. And just like, I credit that to boxing, right? Being in the sport of boxing and learning about it and coaching people and practicing myself and then adding Muay Thai to what I do. So that's really, really cool because, like, you know, I just kind of wanted to document the journey, and instead, like, it turned into this other thing, and now I realize that there's a lot of potential to do more with it. So that's really cool. And these are the ones that kind of got me a little, you know, a little soft on the inside. So, because these are the things after I thought about, like, all the superficial stuff. What did I really do in those last 4 years that's super important to me, you know? I brought joy to a lot of people's lives, whether it was through fitness, whether it was through skill development, whether it was just like getting away from all your bullshit for an hour to come crack some pads or hit the bag with me. You know, like I brought joy to a lot of people's life, and that's important to me, and I will continue to do that. And that's super, super important to me. It's so important to me that when I got into really dark places, dark mental spaces, I would always be like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to quit. I got to figure out something else. And then I would bring joy to somebody, and it would rope me back in, because I realized how important that is to me in my journey in life. So maybe that's a little oddly specific to me, but it's important. It really is. I gained a lot of confidence. So I gained a lot of confidence in something that I didn't think I would be able to gain any more confidence in, and that was performing music. I started to do a couple residencies at Aloft Hotels, super chill hotel bar gig, where I get to play a lot of original music, because that's why I moved to Austin originally, and we'll save that for another episode, how I got to Austin, why I'm in Austin. But I wanted to come to Austin to become a musical artist, right? To be an artist, not just some copycat. And, it's cool that when I get the call to play gigs, it's not as often as it was, but it's what I want to be doing. And I'd rather start with less of what I want to doing. I'd rather start with less of what I want to be doing to work towards more of what I want to be doing than doing a lot of what I don't want to do, pretending like I want to do it, because that's really draining on the soul, the body, and the mind for me. And being a professional musician for 10 years, I did that, right? And like I said, we'll save that for another episode, but I gained a lot of confidence in my musical abilities and my musical performance through boxing. Boxing actually taught me a lot about how to breathe better, how to project better, how to use my breath efficiently. It taught me more understanding of my body, so I could use the tools necessary to deliver the sounds at the certain tonalities that I wanted to deliver them. So I thought that was really, really great. And that's something that I gained over the last 4 years. So again, not any of this being a waste of my time. I shared that ability to be confident in oneself with a lot of my students, right? A lot of people, especially recently, as I've been trying to teach more classes in a bigger environment, have walked up to me and said, hey man, I really needed to hear that. Thank you for saying you believe in me. Or, hey man, that was a really cool lesson. That was a real cool thought that you put in my head. I never looked at myself that way or thought about myself in that way. And I got into music because I wanted to change the world. And I know that sounds super cliche, but I realized that there are other ways that I can change the world and make an impact on people's lives. And that's really cool to hear people say that to me. And people have said it about my original songs too, where they're like, man, that song, the lyrics really got me. It got me out of a place, or put me in a place, it reminded me of something. And to me, that just shows me I'm on the right path, and I'm doing what I'm meant to do, and I'm doing what is my purpose of changing the world. It might look a little differently at the present moment, but I promise you, I'm shaping this thing to make it look exactly and as oddly specific as I want it to. So that's really cool to be able to give people that gift, right? The gift of being confident in oneself, being confident in one's abilities, and then being confident in your ability to learn and grow and expand your own abilities. That is so important to me. So I'm glad that is also part of the last 4 years, that I've been doing. And then, the last one is I've changed people's lives for the better through fitness, through teaching and communication. This kind of tacks on to what I last did. It is so rewarding as a person in the fitness industry who, when people lose that 40, 60, 20, 10 pounds, and they're like, this is the best I've ever felt. This is the best I've ever looked. I'm happier than I've ever been, and the main thing that I say to those people is you did the work, right? I just gave you the tools. You actually used it. I could put a hammer, a plank of wood, and 5 nails in front of you and say, okay, hit the nails into the wood. But if you're I want to use a screwdriver, or I don't like these nails, it's that's kind of on you, because I'm giving you the tools, I'm giving you the resources, I'm giving you instruction on how to get to where you want to go. If you put these 5 nails in this board, you will get done what you need to get done. And, you know, over the years, it's been like kind of draining of me to like be really upset about, oh, why aren't they doing it? Why aren't they hitting the nails into the board? Why can't they just trust me and try it? And it's like, that's really on them, because they have to take accountability of what they're not doing and what they are doing that is keeping them from reaching those goals. And that's the same thing that I have to do about this loss, you know? And I think that's super important. I've changed people's lives for the better through the teaching, which I kind of touched on, and then communication, just like speaking with people, speaking to them and speaking to them with the intent of inspiring them, and it not being this like blowing smoke up your ass type of thing. It's me genuinely speaking to each individual that I've encountered who needs to hear something at a certain moment in time, that it unlocks a window that they can see through, and they're like, oh, that can be my life. Wow, I never knew that, you know? Wow, that's so crazy. Whoa, thank you for that. And it's really, really incredible what you can do if you really care about people and you put the effort forward to change their life. It's amazing, and I feel so lucky, so fortunate, so blessed, whatever word you want to use, to be in that position now. And that comes from boxing. So again, remember the question I was trying to answer was, did I waste the last 4 years of my life? And it's like, after I go down that rabbit hole of answering questions, I'm like, dude, this makes me so much more excited for the next 4 years. Like, imagine what I can do then, because I'm just getting started doing all these things that I'm doing. And I'm excited to do it, you know? I'm honored to do it. And I really hope if you're watching this now, you'll be there for it, you know? So whether that means following me, liking it, you know, not liking it, not following me, passively talking shit, and then looking at me from the side and then checking back in 4 years and seeing like, damn, I should have been following that dude, because shit, look what he's doing now, you know? Whatever one of those people you are, that's cool. If you want to start working together now, there's tons of ways we could do that. There's tons of ways that you can interact with me. You could message me, you could email me, you could IM me. Wait, do they have IM? That's DM now. Oh, gosh. I think the next episode's going to be getting older and what that feels like, even though I'm not within the right? Like, some people aren't in the right tax bracket to do certain things. I don't think I'm in the right age bracket to say some of those things, even if I've worn my body to shit over the last few years. But yeah, I'd appreciate it if you follow me, and we can connect, and hopefully I can help you achieve some of the things you want to achieve, whether that's in boxing, fitness, Muay Thai, kickboxing, like eating, nutrition, endorsement deals, booking gigs. I've like done a lot of cool things on my own, and I think that helps me provide resources to other people. Oh, I forgot, I've done some acting stuff, which is cool. You know, I was in a commercial. I'd really like to do more acting, more modeling, maybe use some of the boxing to like get into stunt stuff. So that would be really cool too, right? So that kind of segues into what's next, right? So those things, maybe get into more acting, do some more like media focused stuff, maybe get into some stunt acting. That'd be super cool. What else is next? Staying on track. You know, I put a lot of things on the calendar. And what some people do, I think they get really disheartened and they just take everything off the calendar and they're like, let me find something normal. Let me find something consistent, which is like not really a great role for a lot of people in life, I think, especially nowadays. I think people are a lot better about looking at their own lives from outside the box. And when you start putting them in that box, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I think it could be good in small phases. At least for me, but I get hyper focused. I put myself in these little boxes because what I do is when I hyper focus in this little box, I develop new skills and I grow and I expand myself, and then I can zoom out and use those skills in tandem with my other skills. So I have some things on the calendar. I'm gonna sneak in the Austin Marathon, I think, or maybe I'll just do the half. And I want to add a few more boxing events. So in March and April, I want to do the IKF in Houston in June, which is a kickboxing thing. And then I'm going to corner some people for the MDL in Austin in October and also participate myself. So I'm super excited about all the things to come. And now I guess this is on that list too, because Alex Hormozi says it only takes 21 podcasts to be in the top 1% of podcasters. So here's the first one. And I hope you guys like it. I hope you found it helpful. If not, that's cool too. Leave a comment below. Let me know how I can make this more late. Actually, don't. Maybe tell me something about your life that's oddly specific to you. Because I'm not going to change this. I'm not going to make it more relatable to you. Because this is kind of like a thing for me to teach you all about how I work through the process of whatever the topic is. So today it was dealing with the loss in competition. We processed the phases of perspective. We went through the ego death. We kind of went through a process of how to get out of this mental space. And then what's next? So thank you guys so much. My name is Mars Hall. I love y'all. This has been Oddly Specific. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.